Yeah. What do you guys think about the censorship going on right now? Has that been a fear of you for you or
Man, look, it's extremely alarming. I'm originally from Venezuela, right? I grew up in Miami, but my family is originally from Venezuela. I lived my very young years in Venezuela, and I saw the country be completely destroyed by socialism. We're seeing that kind of a rise in the U.S. And when socialism and the ideals of socialism, right, whether people are conscious of it or not, right, are kind of Marxist in nature, right, which is kind of like the oppress and the oppressor, right, which is kind of, but it's now become a racial thing, right? So if you're a certain skin color, you are the oppressor. If you are a certain skin color, you are the oppressed, right? So it's kind of taken a different shape. But when you start experimenting with those concepts, right, you'll start to see the beginnings of censorship, of totalitarianism, right? It's very scary. I look, as a fellow YouTuber. I love not, of course, not all the things that Steven Crowder says in his show. I do watch his show because I do lean like that politically, but I do think that it's important that on YouTube and all these platforms, there's a dissenting voice, right, to the other side, to the mainstream narrative, right? It's very dangerous that if you disagree, with the WHO, but you are like a doctor of Harvard, like we reported the other day on Simply Bitcoin, you get censored. You literally get called a liar, right? And as history shows us, the moment that you start censoring something, it doesn't end very well. And unfortunately, I think America is going down that path. But look, this is why Bitcoin is important, right? And this is also why Bitcoin is going to become a major target, right? Because the fact that you can't censor it definitely pisses off a lot of people, but it also gives people the ability to not also vote with their wallet, which is very important, but also vote with their feet. So unfortunately it's very scary times. It's the fourth turning, but it's also very exciting times. Let's see what the future holds.
yeah.
I could add a little bit to that as well. You know, when the car first came out, right? The people that were using the horse and buggies and that were doing that as a business, obviously were very much against the cars, right? So because it now takes away from their business. And the other piece to that is that um the same type of thing happened with other technologies, okay, along the way. Okay. When you look at the internet, like I remember growing up in the 80s and 90s, where if you use the internet with like a 56K modem, which at its time was like peak technology. Okay, you had a 56K modem, you were ripping. I mean, you were downloading 5 megabyte images in like 18 minutes. I mean, this was sick, like so. But again, right? No, everybody laughed and said, "You're never going to stream video. This is never going to happen. We're never going to stream video. We're never going to do all of these things." Okay. I still remember on our phones, okay, when you first got a browser on your flip phone, okay, everyone laughed and was like, why would you waste your money to pay for a data plan? You're never going to be able to do anything on your phone. Look at us now, okay? So this is the same type of thing, like the same way that electricity revolutionized every single thing that we can do, like after electricity, the internet, right, was born. I mean, let's be honest, I don't think we'd have the internet without electricity. So if you take a look at the internet, right, people didn't really think, like at the time, it was used for, the majority was used for email, you know, and like browsing websites, which was a horrible experience, and like message boards and stuff like that. Nobody was able to really see, like, there were very few people that understood what they were standing in and were able to seize that opportunity. But the ones that did, okay, are obviously, reaping massive rewards from those benefits. So if we take a look at Bitcoin, right? You know, Bitcoin is the exact same type of leap when it comes to our money, okay? And it comes to our store of value and the ability to store our value throughout time. Okay, it's just created this whole different paradigm shift that we don't fully understand. Right now, we understand it in this very limited capacity. Okay, and as a result, that's our use case for it right now. It's fairly limited. So I don't even know what we don't know. You know what I mean? I'm not afraid to say it. So
Yeah, I mean that's one of the craziest things. Like, just looking back in time at how quickly technology changes, and then looking at Bitcoin specifically and how quickly Bitcoin has changed in the past few years. Like with all the infrastructure that's coming around it, with Lightning. I use Sphinx Chat pretty regularly, and that was something I never could have thought of. Is to put a podcast on a app and have the listeners stream me sats, and what that could change. I mean, one of the dreams I have is like a music app like that, where content creators can put their music on instead of having to deal with these record labels. Just get sats directly streamed to them from the user. But yeah, the possibilities are pretty endless, and yeah, it definitely is a mind-boggling thing to think about for sure. And I mean, it is we have shows, specifically dedicated to Bitcoin because we think it's such a big deal. I think it's the biggest thing I've seen in my lifetime.